I was very remiss. Somebody said to me just a few minutes ago, somebody's left a comment saying, "What is Schrodinger's cat?" Well, Schrodinger's cat is a thought experiment devised by the physicist Erwin Schrodinger in 1935 to illustrate the counterintuitive nature of quantum mechanics, and particularly the composition, the concept of superposition. In the experiment, a cat is placed in a sealed box with a radioactive atom, a Geiger counter, a vial of poison, and a hammer. If the Geiger counter detects radiation due to the decay of the atom, it triggers the hammer to break the vial, releasing the poison, killing the cat. However, quantum mechanics suggests that until the box is opened, the system is then observed. Until that moment, the atom is in a superposition of both decayed and not decayed state, meaning that the cat is simultaneously alive and dead. And the paradox is meant to highlight the strange implication of quantum mechanics and the role of the observer in determining the state of a system. Well, the point is, when you expand this, it just makes perfect sense. We don't know what we don't know, and so we might as well assume both the best and the worst at the same time until reality kicks in. So it's not just about quantum mechanics, it's also about, basic common sense and preparing for all eventualities. As for Mrs. Slocombe, she's I think she was a wonderful invention. I remember seeing an interview of the actress suggesting, or her daughter suggesting, that she didn't really get all the jokes that she was expected to produce, to wheel out week after week. It's a bit hard to get used to, but now I've got it under my belt, I quite enjoy having a pussy to play with at night. Lines like that. I hope this weather doesn't keep up. If there's one thing I can't stand, it's a wet pussy. My pussy has been on his own all day, and it's getting very impatient. I shall have to give it a good stroke when I get home. But seen in the light of Donald McGill. I did a film a short while ago about the development of the music hall, and particularly the later stages of the music hall into the 1950s. And so I did a section on Donald McGill. It's called A History of the Music Hall Part 2. You can find it here in this channel. There are so many good Donald McGill postcards. Some of them are very saucy indeed. "You must stop pestering me, I'll scream," and the man replies, "Go ahead, everyone else is doing it." It's this sort of playful approach, flirting with the boundaries of decency, but actually just staying on the right side of the acceptable. And McGill's humour is simply impeccable, I would say. Unlike Mrs. Slocumbe's, which is just banging in your face. It's no wonder my pussy isn't his usual lively self. It's been locked up in the dark all night. There's so many inappropriate jokes in Are You Being Served? And I can't imagine that show ever getting onto the telly today. But in the 1970s and early 1980s, it was a great tonic.